It's Adam from the Press Continue podcast, and today we're gonna be well, it's Tuesday night, so you know what that means. We're talking Magic. So I got another fresh Commander deck of mine, one that I've been having a lot of fun playing, but I don't play it too often because well, it's made some people angry. So but the commander is Shattergang Bros, and you see I have my awesome alternate art on that one because it's full of garbage. No, okay, so there's a story behind that. Is Shattergang Brothers, it took me a long time to find this card first off, but I originally had this, if you guys have ever tuned into one of my other shows, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I did my Animar deck, which Animar was originally full of 0 casting costs, artifacts, 0 casting costs, everything. It was full of garbage, and it was known, the nickname of the deck was called Trash, and this was the original commander. So I made this alternate art for it because Shattergang Brothers, as you see, you pay 1 black and 2 colorless. Sack a creature, everyone sacks a creature. Same thing goes for red with artifacts, and same thing goes for green with enchantments. I do, of course, have the original Shattergang behind there that I did finally find. It took me quite a while to get them, but there we go. So there we are. So you guys want to get started talking about the deck? Well, let's flip over and get to it. And make sure the chat and everything is working right for us, because of course I like to hear you guys' feedback as well as I'm going through the deck. I always appreciate feedback and any ideas you guys might have to make it even better. Let me know, because that's what we're here for. We're here to have fun, talk about some Magic stuff, and nerd out together. So, so let me get one last thing. Check the chat to make sure it is working. Got the groovy beats in the background. You know, okay, so this kind of freaked me out for a second too, is that, hold on, chat lines are open. There it is, so the chat lines are definitely open. Thank you, Ashley, for being my moderator there and making sure that it's all working. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting that I was at my friend Glenn's house. We were playing some Blood Bowl, a game that I have wanted to get back to playing for quite a long time, and so we got to play half a game because that game takes a while, especially if you haven't been used to playing it in a long time. And he was listening to this same channel on music channel on YouTube when I was there, and when I pulled up YouTube today, it showed as that was the second thing that showed up on my list to listen to on YouTube. So I thought that was kind of weird, like my phone is listening to everything around me, and there's the conspiracy theory, but but whatever. I don't care. People can track what I do. Whatever, dude. So okay, let's get into the deck. We're gonna start with a bunch of land stuff like we always do, and I'll start with some of the non-basic lands. We have Exotic Orchard, which is tap, add to your mana pool 1 mana of any color land that your opponents can produce. Well, it's a 3-color deck, so I usually have a very good chance of getting about 2 of the colors that I need out of that. So, Savage Lands comes into play tapped, and I get black, red, or green. So, that's basically any color I need. Command Tower, of course, any color you need. Forbidden Ruins. When it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a swamp or mountain card from your hand. If you do, it comes into play untapped, and it makes you black or red. Man, why am I stumbling? Black or red. So then we got black or red, Bloodfell Caves, comes into play tapped, I gain a life. And then I got my Jungle Hollow, black or green, comes into play tapped, gain a life. Golgari Guildgate, comes into play tapped, black or green. Let's just put those together for colors. And then another black or green comes into play tapped. I know, now, okay, I do realize that there are better lands than those for double color mana or triple color mana, but I have them in other decks, so I don't like to proxy a ton of cards. But you can tell, like, you know, so my Cinderglade is it's a printout, because I'm not gonna buy like 3, 4, 5 of these. So I proxy a few of them, but I only do it for cards that I already have, that I just don't want to buy multiple copies of to put in so many decks. And the shop that I play at, they're cool about that. I mean, what do you guys think? I like to hear about that too, how your shop handles it. But our play group is pretty casual, so we don't really care. As long as you're not like some people that we know that proxy like $100 cards that we know you're never gonna get, or $1,000 cards that we know you're never gonna get. There's one guy with the entire deck is made of proxies, so the whole thing is printed out. Even the lands, the basic lands, are printed out proxies. I mean, it's ridiculous, and we all give him a hard time about it because he just went a little overboard. But here's the Cinderglade. Enters the battlefield tapped unless I control 2 or more basic lands. So red-green. Here's a red-green, comes into play tapped. I gain a life. And Temple of Abandon comes into play tapped, red or green, but then I get the scry one. I think I need to put more scry stuff in there. Probably print out a few more, since I do have the real ones just in other decks. Get some of those for these other colors here too. Rugged Highlands comes into play. I gain a life. It's tapped. And there's my non-basic lands, just to get colors, because this deck uses a lot of every single color in it. So I needed to have a good mix to be able to get all that. Then we have your basics: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 swamps, which again, I got a lot of the portal lands, which you guys know how much I love those portal art lands. See, I ran a few pre-releases. I've mentioned that in some of the other ones where I like to do the my little record on the games, and then date them to kind of make my own special cards. So we got 9 swamps. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mountains. There we go. Again, some of my pre-releases and trophies. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 forests. Again, a bunch of portal lands. A couple more from pre-releases. I put a lot of pre-release stuff in this just because I like the flavor it gives. So there's our basic land setup. Done with land. Wonderful. Let's move on to the exciting stuff, right? So let's get this out of the way. I'm full of garbage! Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. Alright, so this deck is very creature heavy. So, what happened? What happened? The music is doing that stupid stuff. I don't know why it does that. Anyway, okay. So, very creature heavy deck. So, I mean, look, most of the deck is creatures, and wait till you see when I get into it what's going on here. So we're gonna start with a Filigree Familiar. Enters the battlefield, I gain 2 life. You can tell I got a decent amount of life gain in this deck. And when it dies, I draw a card. Right now we're in my card draw section. Tireless Tracker When a land enters the battlefield under my control, I investigate. Of course, investigating puts a clue artifact into the play that you pay 2, sack the artifact to draw a card. And whenever I sack a clue, put a +1/+1 counter on Tireless Tracker. There's a lot of words on that card. So, but again, it gives me possible card draw and artifacts to sacrifice to Shattergang Brothers. So, gives me a few different things going on there. Solum Simulacrum. God, I have the hardest time finding a real copy of this. So, when it enters the battlefield, I can search your library for a basic land card, put that card into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. When it dies, I draw a card. Of course, again, creatures dying is definitely going to happen because I'm sacrificing them to Shattergang Brothers to keep everybody's board empty except for mine. So, drawing cards. Mana ramp. Mana ramp is a big thing in this deck. I have to come out first. I have to be able to play all my cards and get Shattergang out there as soon as possible before everyone else gets a jump on me. Otherwise, I'm playing catch up, and it's a little hard to deal with. But I got ways. I got ways, definitely. Grim Haruspex. 1 black, you can morph it. When another non-token creature you control dies, draw a card. So again, more card draw. Phyrexian Rager. When it comes into play, I lose a life and I draw a card. Drawing cards. Wall of Blossoms. It is a wall. When it enters the battlefield, I draw a card. Sekrar Deathkeeper. When another non-token creature you control dies, put a 3/1 black and red Graveborn creature token with haste onto the battlefield. Okay, so I'm going to be sacrificing a lot of creatures, right? So I just get another creature back. Now I'm into the point where I think this is all my graveyard stuff. So I was all about sacrificing or getting rid of my creatures, but also getting something back for it. So this is creature generation section of it. Crackwood Liege, again, impossible card to find. Other black creatures and other green creatures you can control get +1/+1. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a 1/1 black and green worm creature token into the battlefield. Token generator. Whoop whoop. Mongrel Pack. This was always such an interesting card. Okay, so Mongrel Pack, if it is put in the graveyard from play during combat, put 4 hound tokens into play that are 1/1 green creatures. He's a 4/1. So here's what I do with this guy. Is I'll attack with him. If you kill him during combat, of course I get 4 1/1s. If I attack with him and it's still during combat after I deal damage, I will have the option again of sacking him to Shattergang Brothers still in combat and still get 4 1/1 tokens. So I've done that for years since this card came out because I've used it in a lot of decks and it kind of surprises people. But I would find ways to sacrifice this during combat so that I get 4 1/1 creatures, or I can just attack you for 4. So either way, whether you block it or not, I mean, yeah, he's kind of weak, but during combat I would always do little combat tricks like that, especially with like things like Goblin Bombardment, where I would attack you, hit you for 4, and then sacrifice him and the 4 tokens to hit you for 5 more. So it was all good stuff. Alright, Huntmaster of the Falls, or the Fells. This is something I'm not sure if I'm going to keep in there or not, because I bought this special set with all the flip cards, and I wanted to start using them, so I put it in there as a token generator. But whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Huntmaster of the Fells, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token, and I gain 2 life. Again, it's life gain, and I get a token. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform it. And it transforms into Ravager of the Fells, which is a 4/4 trample. When his creature transforms in the Ravager of the Fells, he deals 2 damage to target opponent and 2 damage to up to 1 target creature that player controls. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform it again. It goes back and I get another 2/2 creature and gain 2 life. So potentially it can keep flipping. Most of the time people are going to play spells. Woo. So I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think there may be something better out there to put in there, but it's in there for now. So that's one of those things. At least I have room to take something out if I need to. Alright, Singer Aerocrat. Always love this card. This is back from the Dark. Not the Dark. Homelands. Like one of the only good cards that came out of Homelands. Whenever Singer Aerocrat comes into play, put 3 surf tokens into play. Treat these tokens as 0/1 black creatures. If Singer Aerocrat leaves play, bury all surf tokens. So basically for 4 mana I'm getting 4 creatures to sacrifice off. So it's good. Again, one of those cards I always toy with keeping in or taking out. So if I ever find something better, at least I have a space for it. Verdant Force, of course you all know how much I love my Verdant Forces. During each player's upkeep, put a Sapperling token into play. It's a 1/1 Sapperling green creature. Each player's, including your opponent's. So every turn, I get a 1/1. More stuff to sack off. Of course, they did just reprint this in Dominaria. So I have every other printing of it. I have to track down one, and a foil one, of course, of the new set. So, which, well, let me take a minute to pause here. I see a few people have tuned in. So, again, I appreciate feedback from you guys. So if you have any suggestions of things that I might put in here instead of some of the things that I'm showing, please throw it in the chat. I want to hear. I see Commander Root is tuned in again. Electrical Skateboard. And, of course, Ashley is watching. So, yeah, I want to hear from you guys. Please remember to follow me as well, if you have not already. Pawn of Ulamog. Whenever Pawn of Ulamog or another non-token creature you control dies, I get a 0/1 Eldrazi spawn creature, and I can sack to add 1 colorless mana. So now I'm getting the stuff like this where I can sack Eldrazi tokens, so I have more mana because, again, this deck really likes a lot of mana, so I can really use Shattergang Bros as many times as I can, or cast bigger stuff like the Verdant Force. Get Prosh out there, of course. 5/5 flyer. When you cast Prosh, put X01 red kobold creature tokens named Kobolds of Kirkeep onto the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast Prosh. Sacrifice another creature. Prosh gets +1/+0 until end of turn. These sacrifice outlets, especially when I get into the non-creature stuff, make a big impact on some other things that I have in here. So you'll see when I get there. Emrakul's Hatcher, excellent card. When it enters the battlefield, put 3 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn tokens that I can sack to get 1 mana. So again, good mana for later. Sack outlet, things I need. Catacomb Sifter is devoid. When Catacomb Sifter enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion creature token on the battlefield that you can sack for mana. But whenever another creature I control dies, I scry 1. Everyone knows how much I love scrying. That has helped so much before to be able to scry through my deck and get to what I needed. So scrying equals good. Especially if someone board wipes or something and they think that they're gonna get the jump on me and I have this guy out. At least I can scry to the next card that I need by sacking all my creatures off. And still, since I have all these tokens, I have something to do with them. Sifter of Skulls. And again, devoid. When another non-token creature I control dies, I get a 1/1 Eldrazi Scion, a sack for mana. So, again, kind of like, what did I have here? Sakura's Deathkeeper. Makes tokens when I lose creatures. Pawn of Ulamog makes creatures when I lose creatures. I thought I had another one. I don't know. This one makes creatures when it dies. So, Sprouting Thrynix. I get this thing out every single time I play this deck. When it dies, or when it's put into a graveyard from play, put 3 1/1 green Saproling creature tokens into play. God, Saprolings are fun. So, yeah, I don't know how many times I've played this thing. I think I played it like 3 times in one game back to back to back. And I had 9 Saprolings out there just to sack off, again, the Shattergang brothers. And so every time I sack this, everyone else is sacking a creature, and I'm getting 3 out of it. And then I have more for the next turn to sack off again. So it's like nothing but value in there. Such a good card. Gleaming Barrier. This, I'm trying for something new. Don't know how I feel about it. But when it dies, I get a treasure token that I can pay 1, sack that artifact, add 1 mana of any color in my mana pool. Again, this also, besides giving me mana, it also gives me an artifact that I can sack off to Shattergang Brothers again to destroy an artifact that everyone has. So, and itself is an artifact. So that was another thing that I did, is I tried to put a few more artifact creatures in it, so I had the option of doing sacrificing creatures to destroy creatures, or just sacrificing it as an artifact to destroy artifacts. So it kind of gave me a few options there. Treasure Keeper, love these guys. When Treasure Keeper dies, reveal the top card of your library until you reveal a non-land card with converted mana cost 3 or less. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put all revealed cards not cast this way at the bottom of your library in random order. So he dies, you get something to replace it. Good stuff. Gamekeeper, I think I have this in every single green deck I own. When Gamekeeper is put in the graveyard from play, remove Gamekeeper from the game. If you do, reveal cards from the library until you reveal a creature card, put that card into play, and put the other cards revealed this way into your graveyard. Well, again, a very creature-heavy deck, so I'm gonna hit creatures. And while we stare at that for a minute, let me see if I can get the music working again. Alright, get some tunes going. Alright, Ob Nixilis Unshackled, Flying Trample 4/4. When an opponent searches his or her library, that player sacrifices a creature and loses 10 life. So shuts off fetch lands, shuts off stupid tutoring, and whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Ob Nixilis. So I again can make this huge because I have so many random tokens that I can sacrifice out. Just to pump the hell out of this guy and make him a flying trampler and wreck somebody. So that's one of the power creatures in the deck. Pitiless Plunderer. Whenever another creature I control dies, I get a colorless treasure artifact. So again, things die, I get something back for it. And it says just another creature. It's not even a token creature. So that's even better. Awesome. Mazarek Crowl Death Priest. 2/2 flying. When a player sacrifices another permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature I control. Well, of course, I am making everyone sacrifice everything, so he gets real big real fast. And, alright, so I gotta mention it. Carl, if you're watching, I don't think he is, but Carl, if you're watching, he plays, let me find the creature name that he always gets me with, this stupid commander every time. And it, like, is the bane of this deck. He plays Sigarda. It's a flying hare. I even have my alternate art with Carl on it. So it's a flying hexproof. Spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to sacrifice permanents. He gets me every time I play this deck. He plays Sigarda. That's why I had to put his picture on it. But yeah, he took that deck apart, and it's amazing how much that will shut down this deck. But still, I have some big baddies that I can deal with them, and I can get rid of everything. Well, no, I can't get rid of anything on his board. So I just have to hit him early and get him out of the game before I go after anyone else's shenanigans. So that's how I roll, folks. Alright, so back to the cards. So, Harvester of Souls, Death Touch, 5/5. When another non-token creature I control dies, I draw a card. So, more card drawing off of dying creatures. Teleport Cutthroat and Blood Artist. Basically do the same thing. Whenever a creature of mine dies, each opponent loses a life and I gain a life. This one does all opponents, this one does target opponent. So those definitely both have to be in there. Because if I get a bunch of tokens out there, somebody board wipes, they gonna die. Glean Crawler. This is such an interesting card. It's I don't see anyone else playing this card, but I got it as a foil pre-release because it's pretty. I like it. But it's a 6/6 trample for 6 mana. Pretty cool. At the end of your turn, return to your hand all creature cards in your graveyard that were put in the graveyard from play this turn. Yeah. So, again, wipe the board. I don't care. I'll sacrifice stuff off and just play it again. It's a cool card. I like it. I've not gotten to play it very often, but because usually people see it at the board and they're like, oh no, we're shutting that down. So, very interesting card. I really like it a lot. Sylvan Hierophant. If it's put in my graveyard for play, remove it from the game, then return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So bringing stuff back from the graveyard. I'm in my graveyard section of the deck. Nether Shadow. Played that last week or 2 weekends ago, and somebody was like, what is that old school mess? So Nether Shadow is a 1/1 haste. But if he's in my graveyard with 3 creature cards above him, he goes straight back into play. During my upkeep. So this is my old, what, Unlimited? Revised? I think it's a revised version of that. So I gotta play that just for old school flavor. Gravedigger. When he comes into play, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Again, we all know and have seen Gravedigger. And we got an Artisan. Okay, now we get into the big Eldrazi, right? Artisan of Kozilek. When you cast Artisan of Kozilek, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. He's a 10/9 with Annihilator 2. So if I can't... Well, let's see. Yeah, I guess I still am making you sacrifice stuff. So Sigarda still shuts off Eldrazi? Does Sigarda shut off Eldrazi effects too? Annihilator? That's pretty nuts. But still, I'm hitting with a 10/9, and I have played that. It That Betrays, of course, everyone is sacrificing stuff, so that all becomes mine. He's 11/11, Annihilator 2. Whenever an opponent sacks a non-token permanent, put that card in the battlefield under my control. And then we got an Ulamog. When I cast him, exile 2 permanents, so that'll get rid of Sigarda. Indestructible, 10/10, and when I attack, defending player exiles the top 20 cards of their library. Wonderful. people have attacked me with this guy before, or stolen him and attacked me with him, and it's just so crazy to exile 20 cards off your deck. They usually get through like a couple times before the game's over. It's just fun. Even if I get hit with it, it's still fun. I like that card. So that is the creature base. You see, it's a lot of draw cards. It's a lot of bring stuff back from the graveyard. It's a lot of sacrifice things that make things happen on my side of the board. Like I'll sacrifice to get more creatures, sacrifice to scry. Something dies, I get more cards from my deck, whatever. Because all I'm doing is sacrificing my things to build my board right back up while you're losing your board, again with Shattergang Brothers' abilities. So, that is the creature base. Let's get to the non-creature base and see what's going on. So, of course, some of the standard mana rocks to, like I said, the deck needs mana, so we gotta get it sped up. So we got a Soul Ring, we got a Fel War Stone, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool that your opponents can produce, so whatever, even if it's colorless, it's fine. Mind Stone, give me colorless, sack it later to draw a card when I need the card draw. Rakdos Signet, pay 1, tap it, get black and red. Gruul Signet, get the green and red. Golgari Signet, get the black and green, so got all the colors. Worn Power Stone, comes into play tapped, but then I get 2 mana every time I tap it. I need the quick mana. Chromatic Lantern, all my lands, make any color I want, and this will tap to give me any color I want. So tons of mana fixing there. Commander Sphere, give me 1 color of anything in my commander. And I can sacrifice it to draw a card. So again, more card draw to get through the deck to what I need. Alright, more mana makers. Cryptholic Rite. Creature... Man, I am choking tonight. Creatures I control have tap and add 1 mana of any color to my mana pool. I freaking love this card. Since I saw it come out, I knew I was going to have it in multiple decks, and I do. So it's only 2 mana, but all your creatures turn into mana dorks. I mean, there's nothing better than that. Ashnod's Altar, again, I got a bunch, these two because I have a bunch of tokens, and I might as well have something extra to do with them. Sack a creature, get 2 mana, or 2 colorless mana. Now I gotta do something with your graveyard and your creatures that you've been sacking off, so you can't reanimate them or do any graveyard shenanigans. So we got Night Soil. You pay 1, remove 2 creatures in any graveyard from the game to put a Saproling token into play. There's those Saprolings. So this lets me get rid of people's graveyards, and so does Necrogenesis. Basically does the same thing, but it costs 2 mana. Exile 1 creature card from a graveyard to get a Saproling. So 1 mana to get rid of 2 cards, 2 mana to get rid of 1 card. And then this, Revel of Riches. Okay. When a creature an opponent controls dies, I get a treasure token. If I, at the beginning of my upkeep, if I have 10 or more treasures, I win the game. I don't use this to win the game that way, even though you saw that there were a few ways that I made treasure tokens off of some of my other creatures. But I usually use this just for the extra mana. But I can quickly see... I mean, okay, think of this, right? I sacrifice 1 creature. I'm playing against 3 other people. Cost me 3 mana on Shattergang Brothers to sack a creature. Everybody else sacks a creature. Okay? So, I pay 3 mana, sack a creature, I get 3 treasures. I sack 3 treasures, sack a creature, there goes another. And it's over, and over, and over, and over. It's a really strange board wipe, but it's so much fun when it goes off because it's so dumb. But yeah, I can basically, for however many creatures everyone else has, I can keep wiping the board off as long as each of them has another creature. So that is a very fun card in this deck. I've only gotten it out a couple times, and I've only been able to keep it a couple times. It also goes really good with Black Market. Whenever a creature dies, put a charge counter on Black Market. At the beginning of my pre-combat main phase, I add 1 black to my mana pool for each charge counter on Black Market. So, good mana producer. Now we gotta protect Shattergang, right? So of course we got Lightning Greaves. Equipped creature has Shroud and Haste, equipped 0. We have Swift Boots. Equipped creature has Hexproof and Haste, equip 1. And this is an interesting one. Aspect of Mongoose. Enchanted creature can't be the target of spells or abilities. And when Aspect of Mongoose is put in the graveyard from play, I put it back in my hand. So this is a good enchantment too if I need to have a enchantment to sacrifice to get rid of enchantments. I can use this over and over, as long as nobody instantly kills Shattergang in between. But that's a good one. I'm thinking about, I have to figure out a way to put Rancor in this deck, but I'm not exactly sure where to put it, because that's again another enchantment that comes back to your hand every time it dies. So that's basically for 4 mana I can keep destroying all enchantments. Death Reap Ritual. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature dies this turn, you may draw a card. So we remember all those sack outlets that I had, right? Well, I will find a way to sacrifice something on every single person's turn and flip cards over and get permanents into play. Even if it's more land, I'm okay with that. The deck runs 39 land. I used to run 40 because the deck needs a lot of mana to blow off everything on the board. So this is a really fun card, and I've gotten a lot of value out of that in playing. Aid from the Cowl is very similar. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent... At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, you may put it into the battlefield, otherwise you may put it on the bottom of your library. So again, most of the deck is permanents. I literally don't think we have seen a spell yet. A sorcery or instant. So I'm always going to get a card off this. Actually, let me look at the rest of the deck. There are literally no instants or sorceries in the deck. So I will always get something off this. Again, this is fun too. I've played it in other decks with fetch lands. So I'll fetch on somebody else's turn, I'll fetch on the next player's turn, I'll fetch on the next player's turn, and I keep getting permanents into play. So that's a very fun card. Works really good for me. Grave Pact. Whenever a creature I control is put in the graveyard, each other player sacks a creature. So this essentially makes Shattergang's creature sacrifice option. I sack 1, everybody else sacks 2. So that works out very well. Skull Clamp. Equipped creature gets +1/-1. When a equipped creature puts in the graveyard, I draw 2 cards, equip 1. So again, more card draw. If I'm losing creatures with Grave Pact out, it doesn't matter. I'm getting 2 cards, everyone else is losing a creature. I got all those tokens that I can sack out to Grave Pact again. Grave Pact has always been just an amazing card. From the day I saw that, I was like, I can't have enough Grave Pacts, because I knew that was going to be a power card. Okay. I played this once and everybody's like, what is that? And then they read it and they're like, oh, that is a freaking good card. So at the beginning of your upkeep, Grim Feast deals 1 damage to me, but Whenever a creature is put in a target opponent's graveyard, which has been eroded to any opponent's graveyard, I gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So I sack off a creature, everyone sacks a creature, I gain life equal to the toughness of all those creatures. I got up, I was at like 10 life or something like that. In one round I got back up to 50 something. So good. So good. Sadistic Glee. When any creature is put in a graveyard from play, I put a +1/+1 counter on enchanted creature. So this is one I've always played in the past as well. It's a cheap enchantment. I usually put it on Shattergang Brothers. Or actually I should put it on Ulamog since he's indestructible. Make Ulamog even rougher. But that's a that's one of those cards I threw in there just for fun flavor. I don't know if I like it or not. May keep it, may not. That might be a good takeout for Rancor. Who knows? But easily I can get a creature way out of control way fast having that in there. Because again, if we're sacrificing 4 creatures, creature instantly gets a 4/4 power up. I'm not sure. I gotta play the deck more. Varaska, Relic Seeker. Now we get into some Planeswalkers. For +2, I create a 2/2 Black Pirate creature token with Menace. So again, more tokens are good for me. -3, destroy target artifact, creature, or enchantment. And I get a treasure. And -10, target player's life total becomes 1. I have done that to people. Took them down to 1. And that was, people have done that to me too though. So that's fun. Garruk Relentless. Whenever Garruk Relentless has 2 or fewer loyalty counters on him, transform him. For 0, I do 3 damage to target creature, and target creature deals that damage back to him. So for 0, I can fight for 3. Or for 0, I can create a 2/2 wolf creature. So that's 1. And then if he flips, I create 1/1 black wolf creature tokens with Death Touch. Death Touch tokens are always good. Sack a creature. If I do, search my library for a creature card and put it into my hand. And a -3, creatures I control gain trample and get +X/+X, where X is the number of creature cards in my graveyard. So again, with all the stuff I'm sacking off, I'm definitely going to have creatures in the graveyard. And I have all those tokens. I might as well use it as a crazy overrun and win the game that way too. So Garruk is very interesting mix in there. And then, alright, you ready for this? This is one of my favorite ways to win. And I have this card in a few different decks. It is Vicious Shadows. And Vicious Shadows, when people see this hit the table, they're like, oh crap. Because they can't do anything to creatures, because I just wreck people. Whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, you may have Vicious Shadows deal damage to target player equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. So if one of my creatures die, I take the number of cards in my hand and deal that much damage to someone else. Right? Target player. Now, if one of your creatures die, I take the number of cards in your hand and deal that damage to somebody else. So, of course, I had a bunch of ways to draw cards. So I have a full hand. And I have a bunch of tokens. So, again, and a bunch of sack outlets. So if somebody does something dirty, and this is on the table, I'm totally responding to whatever's happening, and I'm gonna wreck their day. I'm at least going out in a big fiery blaze of something. But Vicious Shadows, I mean, it's 7 mana, but so powerful. I love that card. God, it's so much fun when it happens. Alright. So we all know what time it is now, because we've seen the deck. Now we go through and we run the deck. See how we do. right? So now we get some shuffle time, some dancing time with the groove. I cannot freestyle rap, so don't even ask. I wish I could, because this is a good beat to slow freestyle rap to. I can do a lot of the what, yeah, yeah, and then never go anywhere with it. Alright, so again, everyone has seen the deck, so the secret is out. What, if anything, do you guys see that I should mess around with this deck? If you're on YouTube, you can throw it in the comments. If you're on Twitch, tell me right now. If you're on, Mixer? Comment now again. We're just doing some shuffling. Gonna run the deck here in a second and see what happens to the deck. So again, I'm gonna do my weird ripple shuffle. Let me get the music working again. I don't understand what is going on with this music. YouTube is not my friend anymore. Keeps doing some weird, dirty stuff. I don't know why, but it's like my web browser keeps resetting itself, and I don't understand what it's doing and why it's having issues. Maybe it's because I'm streaming? I don't know. Verdant Force. So I came up with, I was messing around, and I'm working on a new deck in my brain that I may have to quickly put together tonight, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time because, well, I do have all week to do it. So I might start putting stuff together. But it is based off of Goro? I think it was Goro. He's a red creature where for 6 mana, when he comes into play, he lets you search your deck for a what does he let you search for? He lets you search for a equipment card and put it into play. So I'm thinking about making a all red artifact equipment deck and seeing what I can do with that. A lot of artifact heavy type stuff, flipping things on and off the table. Again, kind of a search for the answers that you need type deck, which I've really started liking lately. So we'll see what that does to things. And if I can make that deck work, because it could be wonderful, could be terrible. I'm not sure what to expect. So I don't have a lot of good equipment cards, so I don't know how to get good with that one. But either way, I'm sure it'll be like weird, fun, shenanigan-y type stuff. Alright, we're ready to run some tests here. So I will leave Shattergang off the table until I cast him, which hopefully is on turn 3. So I try to get him out that quick. With the mana rocks and things like that. So we'll see what we can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. Boom, boom. Well, we got the colors for sure, and we got the manas, so that is definitely a good hand that I will run with. We got a Catacombs Sifter in there, a Death Cap Ritual, Black Market, we got a ton of mana to start with. So I will draw that first card for turn. And I usually start with the tap lands first. So I'll play one. Turn 2. Play the other one. Turn 3. Usually start out very quiet at the beginning of the game. Turn 3. We'll put a Catacomb Sifter on the battlefield, and of course I get a token, which I did not think ahead and put tokens. So we will use Genesis cartridges. Alright, there's one of my tokens. Then turn 4, I play Swamp again, and actually, whoop, play a Mountain. So I got all the colors. And 4, put a Death Reap ritual out there. I usually don't cast Shattergang until I have 7 mana, so I can at least get him on the table and be able to use his ability before someone kills him. So technically I got 5 mana because I can sack this for a creature. I got Morbid now. So I can get extra cards. I'm going to draw an Ashnod's Altar, and that's going to make things real interesting real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Oh geez, with an Ashnod's Altar, what do I do? Each upstate creature dies this turn. Okay, so I will... I'll just play a black market. Okay? And at this point, during someone else's turn, I will sack my token for that 1 colorless mana for no reason at all, just so I can draw another card and get a token on black market. So, and I drew a Sukkar Deathkeeper, so I got good stuff. Draw another card. Commander Sphere. Look at all the mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 mana. I can play... just setting it up. 3. And play an Ashnod's Altar. I guess I only have 1 creature out there, but I haven't really looked threatening yet, right? And if someone does attack me, I'm going to draw a card off Morbid, right? So, next turn. Here we go. We've hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've hit the 7 mana, right? So, draw. And I got a Phyrexian Rager, which lets me draw cards off things. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll play a Shattergang Brother, and then we'll play a Phyrexian Rager and draw a card, right? We'll get a Mountain. And at this point, okay, so I did that because I can sack a creature to get 2 mana, and then I have 1 color of anything I need to sack him if I need to. Morbid will trigger. I'll have a bunch of mana on black market, and the engine has kicked in already, right there. Especially when there's a Mongrel pack in my hand here, because look at this. 1. So I'll already have a bunch of stuff on black market. 4. Play Mongrel pack. I'll go to combat. 3. Sacrifice Mongrel pack. Get 4 tokens. Okay? And then at the end of my turn, I will get to draw a card because of Dead Rights Ritual. I have 3 more black market mana. I can do it again. I I could sack off creatures, Ashnod Altar, draw more cards. Let's just draw a couple more cards using all the tokens, right? Why not? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draw a card for turn. 7. It's just that the late game answers that this thing throws out there are just pretty sick. And I have so many tokens on black market right now, and so much mana I can make off of Ashnod's Altar, just throwing crap out there, having sacrifice outlets if I need it, Shattergang Brothers if I need it. I mean, heck, at this point, we got 1, 2. I just start counting out black mana. 3, 4. Oh well, yeah, 4, 5. I have 6 black mana at this point, so I can essentially just keep dumping the board off and attacking with what I have left. So it's already kicked in. Counterspell? Who said counterspell? What did you counterspell? Feast? The leet speak of feast. Man, that's strange that the stupid chat's not working again. What happened? Why the chat broken? Counterspell everything? Yeah. Counterspell does make the deck a little bit hard to deal with, but honestly, there's not a lot of counterspelling blue players in my groups. So, but even if you do counterspell, again, I got so much mana hitting the table that it was under Isochron. I don't know what that means. But counterspells definitely do slow me down, but again, I have so much mana in the deck that I can keep recasting, hopefully recasting Shattergang Brothers again, and keep them out there. So, or at least get them out there, because some of the other junk in there, I mean, it doesn't look that tough by itself until Shattergang hits the table. Then it's just terrible. So, alright. So I'm going to, since the chat is not working on screen properly, I'm gonna run the deck again here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see what happens. And I'll remind everybody too, if you have not followed my channel, please do. I appreciate all the followers and all the support I can get. I've only been doing this a little while, so I'm trying to build up my channel, and I always try to make things a little bit better every time I do it. So please follow so you get those alerts when I am streaming, and I do stream 3 days a week at 9 o'clock, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and then randomly during the week you might find some stuff. And God, it's getting hot in here. So tell your friends, please. Alright, so my next hand here, we got a mountain, an exotic orchard, Sylvan Hierophant, Mezarek, Vraska, and a cutthroat. That's not a very good hand, I don't think, but I'm gonna run it anyway because that's what we do here. So draw that first card, and I knew it was gonna be a swamp. Haha! Because I got so much land in this deck. So first turn we play a swamp, second turn we play a mountain, and we throw out Zlolipan Cutthroat. Third turn we got a Cinderglade. 2 or more basic lands, comes into play untapped. We got 3 colors going. We'll put out a Sylvan Hierophant, right? And then turn 4, We got a Golgari Guildgate, which I really don't care about double colors because I have it all already. 3. But there's really nothing I will play this turn, so I'll just play that and sit. Again, not looking too threatening right now, right? Just kind of quiet sitting back. Turn 5, we got another swamp, which swamps very important in the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would play... what? Would I play the Mezarek? Yeah, I probably would. So I'll play the Mezarek, bloop. And then... another land. This is where I get like so much mana I don't know what to do with it. But at this point I can definitely play a Vraska and create my my 2/2 my 2/2 Genesis cartridge. Good old what do we got here? World Championship Soccer. There's my token. Turn 7, this is where it hits critical, right? Turn 7, because Shattergang comes out, and I make a token, so we gotta, let's use Madden 94 as a token. Sack a token, everybody sacks a creature. Mezarek just got a bunch of counters on it. It's got 4 counters on it. And also, Zillapan Cutthroat kicks off. So I gained life, everybody else lost life, and here we go. Again, once it hits 7 mana, the game is over. I got control. If you haven't stopped everything else that's hit the table before then, I've got the game. And Vraska now will be at 10. So I just drew another land. All I got is a handful of land, right? But it's okay, because I don't mind having a bunch of land. Because now I can just trigger stuff all day, right? Because we got sacrifice, sacrifice, the 2 tokens. Mezarek is getting to be gigantic. Zillapan Cutthroat targeted twice, or triggered twice. And then next turn, I will draw one more time, see what I get. I get another land. It doesn't matter, I have what I need to win on the table, because Vraska is going to put somebody at 1, and then I can sack... what would I sack? Zealoport Cutthroat, that just killed 1 player. Sack Sylvan Hierophant to get back Zealophan Cutthroat, and play the Cutthroat again. All I got is land in my hand, but I've already also killed 1 player, and somebody's getting wrecked by Mezarek because nobody else has creatures on the board. This would have died. And more land. This is when I've kind of lost it. I got greedy with Vraska, but yeah, I ran out of creatures to sacrifice because all I'm drawing is land. No. So yeah, real interesting. I love it. What do you guys think? Should I run it one more time? Do you want to see me run it again, or what you want? What you want to see? You want to see me dance and shuffle? So you ready to see my my original dance here? All right. So I got a couple of them. Because you know how they had like the lawnmower and pick up change and all these stupid dances from the 90s, right? So I had Hang the Picture, which was like this. All right. And we got Dig the Hole. We do this. Yeah, man, that's my old man dance. Alright, well, let's run it one more time, because I love just sitting here playing the deck even against myself, because it's a fun deck. I love it. I gotta bring it with me this weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I go to the local store every Saturday night. Now I've been taking my son Finn, because he has too much fun playing this stuff too. He's only 6 and he's already playing Magic, and he loves it. So he can't even read all the cards yet, but he still has a great time playing. And he's good. He'll wreck people. So let's draw for that first turn. Totally good with a mana rock, so I'll play a swamp. I actually have like 12 or 13 EDH decks. I do one every Tuesday. So if you look at my past streams, you can see some of the other decks that I did. I did an Animar deck, which actually is very unorthodox because I call it Anim Artifacts. So it's an artifact deck that basically plays all the artifacts in the deck for free. And when it goes off, I literally dump my entire deck on the table and kill everyone. So that was a lot of fun. I also did my Johan deck, which, again, everybody's like, who the hell is Johan? He's an old Legends commander that gives everything, basically all my creatures vigilance except for him. And I had a lot of fun with that because I mixed it with cheat creatures into play. Of course, like I said, Verdant Force is definitely in there because any green deck I have has Verdant Force in it. I love Verdant Force. But Vigilance is really good with Exert because there's no drawback to Exert. It's pretty awesome. So that was a fun deck too. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Ah, no, I don't have green out there yet. Darn it. But yeah, that's all I play. I've only ever played multiplayer games. In the old days, it was just 60 card, 4 of everything, you know, whatever you wanted to play. There was no such thing as EDH. So, we would make the dumbest decks and just totally... I remember we had a 10-player game, and by turn 5, me and my friend had killed, because we were always the toughest guys in the store, we had killed everybody at the table. And then we looked at each other, shook hands, and walked away. And from that time on, no one ever wanted to play with us because they couldn't handle the level that we were at. Those were the glory days of Magic for me. Now I do all right. I mean, my friends that play competitive, I can at least hang with them, but I don't win against them. Of course, you know, at our local shop, there's the guys that are like the most competitive guys. Then there's the group right underneath, and I'm hanging with them. And then there's like the newbies, and then there's the people kind of in between that kind of just do random stuff. So because I'm like at that second level down, at least I consider myself there. I do win a good amount against, you know, a good majority of the store, but most of my friends are the crazy competitive people that I play against, so I don't win too often against them. But when they're not there, I have a good chance of winning. And either way, it's not about winning. I just have fun playing the game, whether I win or lose. Unless I get mana hosed or, you know, something stupid happens to me while I'm trying to play. I don't get mad about it. So, let's see. I got 5 mana, essentially. So, I wouldn't have played that yet. I would have played Tireless Tracker, and then played a land to get a treasure toe, or a clue. And I still had 2 mana left. I'd probably sack that clue to draw a card right away and get another freaking land. So one thing about this deck is I need a lot of land, but at the same time I draw too much of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll just play a mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Three. Play command sphere. Oh, I played a land, so I get a clue again. Pay 2, sack to clue, draw a card. Pay 2, get a Felwar Stone. Look at all the mana. That's crazy. So what is this? Turn 6, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana on the table. About to be 9. Oh, clue. Got that. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So at this point, I would play a Huntmaster, get a Wolf. I don't know. Put a Sadistic Glee on Tireless Tracker, since he's getting powered up. And let's see, I played 4, paid 1, still got 4 more left. I don't know, I'd probably risk putting out Shattergang at this point, depending on the board state. Because I got so much mana to deal with them next turn right here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And put out a Vicious Shadows so I can start dealing damage to people. That was a weird play. That was a real weird play. So at least I had clues and tokens and things I can do with Shattergang. Again, it's all about having weird options with this deck, and I have fun. Again, if you really want to see my other EDH decks, again, every Tuesday I go through another EDH deck that I have. I just pick a random one out of my collection and go through it. So if you want to get those alerts of when we're doing, hit the follow button. That's the way to know what's up. So, alright. Well, you heard some ideas for some new decks that I had. Let's see, was it Goro? Let me see, I took a picture of it. Godo, sorry. Godo Bandit Warlord. This is the next deck I'm going to work on. When he comes into play, I can search my library for an equipment card and put it into play. If you do shuffle your library, when Godo attacks for the first time each turn, untap it, and all samurai you control. After this phase, you get an additional combat phase. So I'm going to be dealing with unblockable, you know, giving it Traveler's Boots for different land walk abilities. A lot of artifact shenanigans, because if I'm bringing out free equipment, I can switch it out for artifact creatures instead. So I have some interesting ideas that are, again, because I don't like to do the normal thing with any deck that I do. I always kind of try to do things off the wall. Najila, I don't know who that is. Let me look up a picture of that. Let's see what that is. See if I can give you any tips on that. I think I know who it might be, but I'm not sure. Did I spell it wrong? N-E-J... No. I did spell it wrong. Way wrong. Let's see. Whenever a warrior attacks, you may have its controller create a 1/1 warrior. Untap all attacking creatures. They gain trample, lifelink, and haste until end of turn. With this phase, there's an additional combat phase activated. Well, that's interesting. That's off the new Battle Bond set, which I plan on picking up some of that. I'm not going to pick up too much of it because I have a lot of those cards because it's a lot of reprints, but there's definitely some new good stuff in there that I want to get. But I don't spend a lot of money on Magic cards because I don't have a lot of money anymore because I got 2 kids and that takes it. But I will be picking up some stuff. But that seems like a definitely an interesting commander, and I've wanted to make a 5-color deck for a while. I will actually I want to look for something for you because there is a awesome green card for 5-color decks. And let me make sure I grab my... Okay, so these are my binders. They're like this thick, all full of cards. I got 2 binders for each color. Of course, I always grab the wrong binder first. So that was my green creature binder. And I need a green spells binder, which I believe is this one. Here's the green spells binder. And I have to find a card because I can't remember the name of it, but I remember what it looks like because I am terrible with names. And let me find it for... Actually, let me just put the book in front of the camera so you can see a lot of my collection. Where the heck is it? It is a spell, a sorcery, where you pay 4 mana and sacrifice 5 land to search your deck for any 5 land, basic land, and put it into play. Right there, you got all 5 colors in your deck on the table. So it is excellent for a 5-color deck. God, I wish I could find it now. Oh, here it is. Gaze Balance. Right there. So, as an additional cost to Gaze Balance, sacrifice 5 lands, search your library for a land card of each basic land type, and put them into play. Shuffle your library afterwards. So you pay 4, sack 5, to get 5 land back into play untapped. So it's essentially a free spell, and you get all your colors. It's, I've used it before when I used to have a Sliver deck, and it worked out really well because I get Sliver Queen out instantly. So I'd have 4 mana, you tap all 5 that you're sacrificing first, so you'd essentially get 6 mana for spending a 4, and you'd have all your colors. So it worked out pretty good. I think it's cheap. But it works out really good for 5-color decks, and apparently I only have 1 of them. I thought I had more of them. But yeah, man, I got cards and cards and cards. The green, I used to hate green, so I didn't get a lot of green cards. This is a deck that I made. I built this thing around this one time. Arborea. If a player does not cast a spell or put a card into play during that player's turn, no creatures may attack that player until after his next turn. So I played the whole deck as Flash. So that was no one could attack me, and I could do whatever the heck I wanted. Arborea was a lot of fun back in the old days. That's an old Legends card. So, yeah, but I don't have a lot of my green collection that I used to have because I never played much of green, so I sold off most of it. In fact, right before I got back into playing Magic again, because I quit for a good 10 years, because I got so sick of the game, and saw the new sets coming out, and they were just doing stupid stuff that I didn't like. It was right around Mercadian Mask, and then I got back into it about 2-3 years ago. started having fun. But what was my point of my story? Oh, so I sold off most of my green collection, and I think it was a pretty decent trade. Is I sold it all off to get myself an arcade machine, because this stream is mainly I play a lot of old school retro video games. I've been playing a lot of Super Mario Brothers 3. Actually, I just finished going through the whole game with no warp whistles. And tomorrow I'm gonna start again playing it. I played it on the original NES. Now I'm gonna play the Super NES version of it, and I'm gonna have my wife Ashley play with us. So hopefully she will join us tomorrow. That will be a fun time. You'll probably see us get into a fight about something because I will laugh about something that's going on the screen, and she will probably take it personally. And oh, kudzu's a fun thing. Whenever target land becomes tapped, it is destroyed. Unless that was the last land I'm playing, kudzu is not discarded. Instead, that player whose land it just destroyed may place it on another player's land in play. So it just rolls around the table, destroying land. Such a weird card. But so much freaking fun back in the old days. It was so stupid. Look at that, I have it in revised and unlimited. How about that? So yeah, I had a lot of fun. A lot of fun with dumb cards. That's always been my thing. People are always like, "What the heck are you playing now?" And that's what I like, because I like to surprise people with dumb stuff. All right, well, I'll put that away, and yeah. So I think I'm going to have to end my stream tonight. I usually try to get an hour and a half. But before I do, yeah, Jank, I'm telling you, man, Jank is the most fun. Like I said, Shattergang Brothers started out as a stupid deck and turned into one of my toughest decks. So next Tuesday, I might either do one of my new decks, because I'm working on a, here we go, where is it? There we go, hi. So I'm working on a Slimefoot deck that's slowly getting better. I just got to get a few extra things to make it more fun and work faster and work better, because that's another mana heavy deck. I'm also working on that new red deck that I just showed you about. And there was one more new deck that I was... Oh, and I might do my Nekazar deck. I'm not sure. And my Nekazar deck is very unorthodox again. Of course, it's made around drawing cards, but I have a lot of weird stuff in there too that people are like, why are you playing this? And you really took it in a different direction, so that makes it interesting. So I'll probably do one of those next Tuesday, and tomorrow, again, like I said, I'm probably doing Super Mario Brothers 3, but let's see who we're going to raid tonight, because I always go in and raid somebody else's stream. So let's see what's going on. Well, the music's back for some reason. Let's see what's going on in the world of Magic the Gathering on Twitch, and see what people are playing. Again, I appreciate everybody that showed up tonight and watched. I appreciate you chatting with me the whole time. Feast, you and your leet speak name. Let's see what we can find that is going on here. Yeah, and then I'm going to talk about, of course, I'll talk about some of my Battle Bond cards that I'm going to get this weekend. So I'm definitely going to talk about that on Tuesday as well. What are people playing? There's not a lot going on here that's not all the digital games. Oh, here's somebody playing. So live game playing right here. So we're gonna go see these guys, and looks like two guys sitting at a table playing together. I don't know anything about them, but We're gonna go check them out. They have the longest name ever. I think I've watched them before, and they're pretty good. So, again, thanks for tuning in. No, it did not work for me, so I need to type it in again. Because I got the name wrong. Alright, so we're going to raid these guys. Again, thanks for tuning in. If you have not followed, please follow me. And thanks for everything. I appreciate talking to you guys. I appreciate the feedback. I have fun when you guys are on here. I have fun talking about Magic. And I'll see you next time, where the gaming never ends, as long as you press continue.